Okay, we're going to roll into our post-qualifying for the 15th annual Sylvania 300 here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And our third quickest is Brian Vickers. He drives the number 83 Red Bull Toyota. And Brian, certainly a little bit of a different qualifying session out there today. You were on the pole there for quite some time there during the delay as well. But certainly I got to feel like you're glad that we got it all in.
Yeah, I am. I think that NASCAR did a good job. They did the best they could with the situation they were in. I'd like to have seen qualifying just go straight through and see where we ended up. I mean, obviously with the rain, the clouds, and then after. Oh, sounds good.
Did you get all that, Brian?
I got it. I wrote that down.
But you missed the driver's meeting.
Yeah. No, that's all right. That was good information. Thank you.
Okay, Brian, if you want to pick up where you left off.
Obviously the conditions were tough. NASCAR did a good job, just trying to make it the best they could for everybody. I'd like to have seen it play out, just running straight through. Obviously with all the clouds coming over and the light drizzle, the track was a good bit cooler there at the end than it was when we went. But it is what it is. So, either way, we still ended up better than we would have. We ended up with a top 3 start, so that's great. Both Red Bull cars up front. But again, I'd like to have seen our lap hold if we were heads up in the same conditions.
Okay, we'll take some questions now for Brian. If you have one, raise your hand. Any questions for Brian? Go ahead, Steve.
Steve Richards, the PRN. Can you get an idea, or have you gotten an idea of how good your car could be on Sunday yet? Or because we might get rain tomorrow, you might not get to practice. I mean, how was today's practice?
Yeah, good question. We started out with what we finished here last in the spring race, or the first race with, and we were really loose, and we tried a couple things, and we undid some of that, and they were really good changes for us. The first change was a significant improvement, and the second change was an even better improvement, and we only made 3 race runs, and then we went straight into qualifying. The change that we made in qualifying, or after practice, going into qualifying, is the change that I feel that we need tomorrow for race trim, that final touch that we needed. We were still pretty good in race trim. We just needed a little bit more. And I do believe that the change that we had, that we made for qualifying, is the change we need tomorrow. So I feel pretty good about our race stuff. I'd like to get some more practice on it. But all in all, I think we have a good car.
Other questions for Brian? Anybody else? Steve, you got another one? Go ahead.
Can you just comment on this? Brian, I just want you. Can you comment on the story that we heard, or that was published, that Dietrich said that Red Bull might indeed come back next season? They're taking a second and third look at it.
Yeah, they'll take a fourth too. So don't get in a hurry. I have no idea. You know what? At the end of the day, this situation we're in is frustrating, and whatever they decide to do, I would love to see Red Bull stay in the sport, whether I'm a part of it or not. They're a great brand, I think, for our sport, and I've had a great 5 years. The opportunities they've provided me on and off the racetrack have been fantastic. I can't thank Red Bull enough, and Dietrich himself, for everything he's done. I know that company-wide, worldwide, They're going through a lot of changes and a lot of programs, not just the NASCAR program, around the world, and where they want to spend their ad dollars. And that's their decision. Since the beginning of Red Bull, probably a couple years in, all the way till present, every year it's kind of been behind the scenes. It's kind of been, well, yeah, we're not sure. We're definitely sure. We're not sure, and we're definitely sure. So that it's kind of always been there a little bit. So it didn't really catch me off guard in a big way. I did read his comments coming into this weekend. Someone emailed them to me. I read them briefly. Hey, you know what? The one thing about Red Bull is a private company. Most of the companies in this sport are public companies, and they answer to CEOs and boards, and it's a group decision. With Red Bull, it's up to him. Ultimately, no matter what anyone else says in the company, if Dietrich wants to go racing, we go racing. So it'd be great if they stayed, whether it was with me or whether it was this team or whatever involvement they had in NASCAR. I would love to see them stay, but no one has said anything to me about it. You know as much as I do. The article you read is everything I've got.
Anything else for Brian before we let him go? Brian, thank you so much. Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Our second quickest qualifier is Brian's teammate. That's Kasey Kahne. He drives the number 4 Red Bull Toyota. And Kasey, you were one of the ones that had to go out there towards the end. Certainly burned off a pretty good lap. Talk about your effort out there here today.
Yeah, it was a good effort. We ended up right where we would ended up if it rained, so it was good. I thought the track was definitely slicker. The way my car handled, that first lap, in practice we were better on our first lap, and that time the first lap was definitely not better. It was a lot slower. I was sliding around trying to get my tires to come in. Kind of felt greasy, just dirty, but I'm glad we got qualifying in. We ended up in the same spot. I just wish it would have just kept going. It wasn't raining hard enough when they stopped where I was. Maybe over in 3 or something it could have been. But then it just, delayed everything. So I think the track would have been better if we ran with a little bit of sprinkles where it's not affecting the racetrack. Just some of those guys don't want to go when it's like that. And I wasn't in position to go, and Kenny wouldn't let me go once the other 3 said no. So I had no chance. But if I was the first car there, I'd have rolled off for sure.
Okay, questions for Kasey? Any questions for Kasey? Steve's got one, and then Bob.
Steve Richards with PRN. Can you tell how good your car is for Sunday yet?
Well, we felt good in practice. We did some things to where it made it a little worse, did some things to where it made it better. And when we ended practice, we definitely weren't the best car, but we were pretty competitive speed-wise. And, so depending on weather tomorrow, I think we have definitely a top 10 car, depending on track position. Tires don't wear out here, so you're going to have people running 2 or 0 throughout the race and just playing that whole game that we played the first time here and that we've played at other tracks. So to me, you have to have tires that wear out. You have to have, I know we don't want to blow tires, we don't want to do that, but we have to have tires that wear out or it hurts the racing. And track position, we don't want NASCAR to be all off of, strategy. That happens at some of the road courses, but anymore it really doesn't happen at those too often. You get some guys that are just the dominant cars. I feel like the tires need to wear out if you want good racing, and there's a few of our tracks where they don't. Puts it on fuel mileage, puts it on pit strategy as far as, 2 or 0 or 4 when you do it. And I don't like racing like that. Some people may, but I'd much rather have tires fall off, and if you go too hard and wear your rear tires out, then you're going to get past late, and do it that way. That's how it was when I came into the sport in 04, and I wish we'd look at getting tires closer to that again. Some tracks we have those. I feel like some tracks we definitely have those.
Go ahead, Bob.
Bob Pocker, Singing Daily. I guess NASCAR traditionally lets the drivers somewhat decide whether the track is okay to go for qualifying, but now with you qualifying in the order of your practice speed and the lineup, if it rains, being determined by your practice speed, is this a time now where NASCAR really needs to say either go or not go, or how much do you think driver input should be still considered in that decision?
Well, I think there's some situations where driver input's key. If you were to take off and go into turn 3 and it's raining down there, you should be able to pull in. and that's the way I've understood it. So I think that's about as far as it needs to go. Other than that, I think NASCAR decides. It shouldn't be up to any one of us on if we should pull off pit road or not. It's up to them.
Any more questions? I thought I saw another one. Anybody else? Okay, Kasey, thank you, and good luck this weekend.
All right, thank you.
Our Coors Light pole winner for Sunday's 15th annual Sylvania 300 is Ryan Newman. He drives the number 39 Haas Automation Chevrolet for Stewart Haas Racing. This is Ryan's series-leading 6th pole at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and it's also his 3rd pole in 211 and his 49th career pole, so one away from 50. Ryan, this is ties you for 9th all-time with Bobby Isaac, who is actually a Hall of Fame nominee. So congratulations. Talk about the qualifying out there. Certainly you're the last one to go and had to wait a while to get the track ready. But talk about your effort out there here this afternoon.
Well, in general, I don't think I've seen that much drama go into the last 5 cars in qualifying in my 10 or 11 years of experience. Just to have the little situation we did with the rain, the drizzle, and it's kind of a tough situation because I was thinking about it when I was in the car. On one hand, you're thinking, well, the other guys had to qualify in the sprinkles, and some of them did, some of them didn't. But in the end, I mean, you were supposed to have dry track conditions, or at least it not be raining when we go out on the racetrack. So I understand where Jimmy came from when he pulled in. And, my track was dry. I don't know that it was any faster to answer that question. I think we picked up about the same amount of speed as the other guys did earlier in qualifying. So just really proud of the team to back up what we did here, at least on Friday from the spring race, and, give the Haas Automation a good starting spot.
Okay, questions now for Ryan. If you have a question, raise your hand. Questions? Go ahead, Reed.
Reed Spencer with Sporting News. Ryan, what were conditions like when you went out?
It took a little bit more for my tires to fire up as far as, stick, and that kind of scared me a little bit, but I ran the first lap just as I expected it to, and as I did in practice, and it was enough to win the pole. So, I mean, it was, and gladly so, because our car was typically quicker on the first lap and not the second in practice. So I was glad I got him in the first lap. Gibson said shut her down, and that was a good sign for me. So it was different than practice, but I think it was different than practice for everybody.
Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Hembry, Speed.com. Ryan, because of the weight, because of the conditions, because of Montoya's lap, was there no hesitation in you going as fast as you could go, as fast as you would normally go?
Gibson was giving me the lap times of the guys each lap, first and second, and Kasey gave me the confidence that the track had the grip in it when he ran that 26, and knowing he was a 50 and we were a 47 in practice, if I could just pick up the same amount, then we'd be in good shape, and we were able to do that on the first lap. So, good team effort. Really proud of the guys today, and obviously it's important in the chase.
Any other questions? Ryan, thank you, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.